Good morning. Back with the Beef and Barnsey show from a new address here, and
a new room here.
And a new room here. There we go. It's new locations everywhere. We're preparing for the new year in style. It's time to basically just change whatever happened in 2020, I guess. So
yeah, I went with a different bedroom. You went with a different address. Levels.
I don't know what you're talking about. Adam.
So
he's in early this morning.
Strike Fest this weekend.
There was a double or two thrown in Lubbock this weekend. 39-foot, Don Carter pattern, historically, medium scoring. Lubbock, generally a medium scoring center on the right. We never saw a graph of the weekend. Pete said it was 3.5 to 1, which is a little softer than the average translation. But
I'm not sure it was. I think the 3 might have been a rubbed out 8.
But it's a lot like it's accountant math, and because it's an average, and so I'm guessing the middle of it must have been pretty flat because it was not very flat out to the right. And yeah, I mean, we always wanted to know how Jacob always averages 240, and now I have a pretty good idea. Because I could also throw it from 2 to 8 and still strike, and it was kind of fun. But with urethane on top of it, and that's the other thing. Once we threw urethane, and a lot of guys did, it stretched, and then it became a 43 or 44 foot pattern with hook on to the right. I mean, the very last game, you're playing 15. You know, it's been a long time since a lane hasn't gotten beat up, and there was plenty of rev rate in the field. Yeah, they were guys were bringing it, and 250s were just pacing, and 225s felt like you're getting punched in the face. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it ended up being 2 guys averaged 250 for 20 whatever it was games. You ended up bowling like 24, 22, whatever it was that you guys bowled.
Yeah. So,
that's pretty high. You don't see that very often.
Did AJ get there? I know he was.
Yes, I believe he did. And then there was also 9 300 games. That's pretty strange for a regional with 58 players in the field.
Yeah, 61 players, 22 games, and of course most of them didn't bowl. Only 20 bowled on Sunday. So
yeah. Here's a couple. Alan Gobert says hi from Winnipeg.
Hey.
Oh, Canada. Jacob says, good morning. Casey says, what's up? Has it been 24 hours since Casey shot 300 with the X1? I wonder. Basil says, hi from Waco, Texas. Fix the road!
Yeah, that place by the stadium, it doesn't need 4 years to get
reconstructed. The point is I actually don't think for me on a Sunday night that it's made the traffic any worse, because now it seems like there's less likelihood of an accident being there, because people just seem to go, oh my God, there's the stadium. Bang. Oh, just terrible. Anybody who understands the pain of having to drive through Waco every Sunday night, not great.
Mark, yeah, it's a lovely singing voice.
Yep. My Commonwealth beauties. Basil says, tell me about it. Yeah, I get it. Classic example of where tougher conditions can generate higher scoring based on the house shot. Yep, seemed that way.
Well, a few years back we did the red, white, and blue thing when USBC was trying to color them that way, and there were 4 to 1, 6 to 1, and 8 to 1, and 4 to 1 was a little easier than what we normally bowled on, and 6 to 1 was stone cold walled, and 8 to 1 actually it started going the other way because you had some wet dry. So at 5 to 1, 6 to 1 is kind of where the medium higher rev rate players and up start to see really blended and easy patterns. That's probably the maximum scoring pace.
Randy says Venezuelan power. Yep, and I think it was honed in Texas on the fine china. Because Ildemaro was not scared of shooting 270 else.
No, I've been around Ildemaro now since I think I met him in 2008 in an unfortunate incident that we may talk about later. But he's never been afraid to throw some strikes, and he's got a pretty cool little ball roll. It doesn't pick up early, and it makes a big move down lane. And it's almost like a little bit higher rev rate west. It just comes about a foot and a half lower.
Yes, definitely. William Gannon wrote something that's pretty funny. I think it's his motto in life for his wife. Treat yourself like I-35. Never keep working on yourself, no matter how inconvenient it is to anybody else.
I like that. It's the funniest one of the day.
He says it should have said, keep working on yourself, no matter how inconvenient it is. Well, I feel like they do start to work. They just don't continue to work.
Yeah, it seems like they're actually not working. It seems actually fairly accurate that you don't work on it, but you still inconvenience everyone.
We had another one that I just wanted to see. Here's one of your fellow global team. Billy says, what's up, guys? Billy from Lilburn, Georgia. Go global. There we go. Nice to see you. Ad says, how we doing? Doing pretty good, mate.
Sometimes we get the good. Today we have the great. Phil Doutright, a.k.a. Richie Allen.
Mr. Lubbock himself.
He's not afraid there. Titleist there in Lubbock.
Dave Bartlett, my Nationals doubles partner, says good morning. Yeah, we got a lot of people in today. Corey Bailey, I look forward to having you here on my show in Chicago. Comedy and balls, bowling, lol. All right, send us an email.
There you go.
We got another Canadian in the house today. So all things good. So yeah. So this weekend, what we got coming up? We got the doubles over in Houston.
Yeah, the Codger regular PBA doubles. Got some teams coming in from all over, actually. I think Mark Williams is bowling with
Jacob.
Michael Holloman is bowling with Pete Weber. So it's limited to only 40 teams, and right now they are full. So
yeah, I'm just quickly trying to pull up what we're going to bowl on. I seem to thought it was medium, but I'm not 100% sure.
Give me
oil pattern. Marshall Holman. That's one I bowled on a few times, 37 feet. The gut is pretty built up. We're bowling an Emerald, which is an interesting cross to say the least. So I don't think the scores will be as high as they were last weekend, even though I think that Marshall Holman pattern is actually quite a bit easier.
Yeah,
than you guys bowled on last weekend.
Right. In theory, it should be. But when they translate those, the two machines, for those who don't know, the Brunswick machine is and it has all jets, and the Kegel machine works with a buffer across, and they set up very differently, and so patterns don't translate fairly well, and so they tend to err on the side of being a little bit softer when they translate them.
It's funny, they do now. Years ago,
for a while, it was the other way.
It was always harder on the Kegel machine than it was. And now, I think it was like this year it started, because a lot of those PTQ scores, which like they were so high. We were bowling some PTQs, and like Wesley was bowling unbelievable in the PTQ. And then Darth Vader himself came and started all in the lanes with the Brunswick machine and said, no, Wesley Lowe, no. We had one of your buddies here is in. He says, yeah, enough of that. Where is he? let's talk about what's really important. Chiefs have the #1 seed.
That's right, Wolfie. That's right. So I'm so sorry for all you Pittsburgh fans out there. I'm not really talking to you directly, John Burkett, but if you're watching, sorry. Quite enjoyed last night, or the other night. I guess it was Sunday night. Yeah,
I enjoyed last night's game. Damn.
Wow. How about that game? We were busy unpacking boxes and doing some stuff. We got things coming on, but holy cow, was that something else? Unless you bet on the Browns.
Yeah,
that is reason number 1, A, B, C, and D why you don't bet. Unbelievable. The late safety on the pitch and pray play.
Yeah,
not
just
cover.
Awful. Just awful. Jennifer says, my son Ethan enjoyed bowling against Stu and Colleen last month. Well, I'm glad he had a good time. No doubt he beat me as well. That was a rough day for me. I thought that Jennifer, that was actually one of the days where I had a come to Jesus meeting with myself on the way home after that day, because I felt like I bowled okay and I came 11th. But yes, I remember. Did he win? I think he might have ended up winning. Oh, he definitely enjoyed his time.
Yeah. Well, with no further ado, the man of the hour and certainly of the weekend, and it started on Friday night. I texted Stu because I bowled the sweeper. I was busy moving. I didn't get a lot of games in, so I bowled the sweeper, which I don't often do. And there was this guy on my right that he was playing. Lots of times in Lubbock, when you play to the right, you have one reaction, and play to the left. It's a different group of guys that bowl good. Well, he bowled good to the right, and then he moved to the left, and his ball looked good on both sides. I'm like, wow. I said, he's got it. If they're like that, he's going to bowl good. Little did I know. My friend from, we first met in 2008 under unfortunate circumstances. He has been part of Team Venezuela for, I think, about 16 years. Yes, he's only in his early 30s, yet he's been on the team for that long. He was recently picked by the Las Vegas High Rollers, who made a tremendous run in the PBA League. And he is now a PBA champion by virtue of averaging more than I can ever remember in a regional. A friend of mine, Papi, Ildemaro Ruiz.
Rico, Stu, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Ildemaro, congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have to say, I never been fan of this show. I mean, you got the guy that beat me in national TV, and then you got the guy that smashed my finger in Thailand. So it wasn't even possible. But now I think we're making pieces right now.
You're in a good mood for winning. You're feeling okay.
Yeah.
Be nice to us, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really grateful to be here with you guys. I really enjoy watching the show once in a while. Topic about bowling, and it's not a group of conversation that I can be really often back in home or in any other place. You guys are first hands over there, what happening on tour and what happening in international bowling. So it's really interesting.
We're trying. Tell us a little bit about the weekend. I can't remember the last time anybody averaged over 250. And Lubbock is not a really
certainly not a right-hander.
No, not there. That building's hard to go across the building. There's some really sketchy pairs.
Just quick, Chris. What did I tell you when you told me that AJ had bowled 590? I said to you, man, he has to have bowled at the low end. And then you sent me a video of him bowling on 25 and 26 or something. I'm like,
huh?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
So what did you use?
I started with my fast pitch during the qualifying rounds, but I knew that my physics was running really well thanks to the sweeper that we bowled late Friday. So as long as my fast pitch, keeps striking and don't leave any flat end, I knew that my next move after that would be the physics, and certainly it did. I mean, for me, it was. Um, I think it was in my favor having AJ Chapman on my left and having Sean Lavery's part in my pair. That makes my transition so much easier because I got guys in my right that doesn't have too many reps. So I didn't have to move that much. As soon as I pick up my physics from, I don't know, I was probably landing around 25, 23, around that. But then when we bowled the Cassius round, I had AJ in my pair, I got Sean in my right pair. So I was starting seeing that transition, and that was when I had my 2 games of 210. It caused me that transition to figure it out. But one of the important things that I figured out in the sweeper was the ones you starting getting that early friction on Lubbock, you have to be aware of that. Like you have to play deep, but no throwing the ball to the same spot. You have to be inside, have a ball that's gonna continue giving, reaction inside part of the lane. So thank that I couldn't figure it out faster, and I think that's one of the major things that makes me average 250.
Makes sense. Yeah. So you were really saying that once you stop using the urethane ball, you kind of stop using the bounce. You kind of play the oil a little more with the reactive ball.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the lanes, the transitions, rotation, I think everything plays in my favor because, as you say, guys, like it's really hard no matter what kind of pattern you bowling. Average 250 in that kind of condition, that kind of feel. I mean, everything has to be in your favor, and thank God I had it last week.
I have to be honest, I'm a huge fan of being a spectator when the scores are high. I mean, I don't care about the scores being high. I think it's awesome. So I was texting back and forth with Frankie. Oh, my God, Ildemaro's averaging 252. And then about 15 minutes later, oh, my God, he's averaging 253. Oh, my God, he's up to 254 and he lost that game.
Yeah.
Text me back going, you've got problems.
Well, we started match play, and Ildemaro he was actually second, and so I was second to last. So we bowled each other in the first game, and that was the only game I think that he didn't shoot 250. He only shot 195, and I shot like 230, which was
okay, Ildemaro.
A great
I've been there when the guy chops the lane up, screws everything up. I've been there. At least you only got one game of it.
I was throwing my stew scam ball too, the Badger urethane, but we got through that game, and then we move opposite directions, and I come back, and 3 games later, he hasn't shot less than 278 for the next 3 games. Oh, I'm like,
yeah, it was a quick reaction. I mean, that game against Barnes, I guess that I get nervous, like everyone else, right?
Such a liar.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same problem in my first game in Cassius round. I think I'm probably using too much urethane during the fresh. It doesn't help me to get in the right place on the lane. But other than that, when I figured out that fast pitch, I mean, I can tell I've been averaging a lot with that ball. Also, I used it in San Antonio a couple of months ago, and it was a 36 or 37 flat pattern. I was swinging the whole lane, and I was the only one that I couldn't average more than 220 over there. And that ball is great. I just have to say, that ball is great.
For those who don't know, the fast pitch is a urethane ball, right? What kind of is yours box finished, or is it something else?
My spot about
what was the surface?
What's the surface?
Just light 1,000. I don't like to put that much because I like to swing the ball if I can. So if I got too early, it's not gonna roll any well. So
how do you see it different to the pitch black?
Got more end. The pitch black is so much end. The fast pitch is early and continue. some of the bowling ball that we had in urethane, when you don't see too much flare, the ball is like turns direction and then stop. The difference of the pitch flag is this ball turns, but it continue go this way.
Yeah,
like Papi do it with when he's playing the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the fast pitch is more rounded. Like it feels like the pitch black is stronger, but the fast pitch you can just throw it slower and make it hook more, and you can't really do that with the pitch black because it picks up too soon.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
That's how I see it.
Okay. Arturo, Mr. Quintero, he's there. He says nice.
Your business partner.
Yeah, the things have been so different in Mexico now. Arturo is awake at 10 a.m. 2020 is real. I mean, it got me, man. I don't know, so many different things going on this year.
I guess the bars must be closed there too.
That's right. Oh my God. Hey,
So-
Arturo, we're waiting for you. Just don't quick practice, man. We have to bowl the over under 40 when you get here.
So, Cliff here is reminding me that you actually won in Shreveport last weekend as well.
You say.
Yeah, with Maryland
think,
Islands. It was a really nice tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, I won that one last year.
That was good. I mean, that place you can tell. I mean, is quite a thing. I mean, when you had it, the pins flies, but when you don't have it, it's really hard to catch. It's like, yeah. And then bowling Bakers on Sundays. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're bowling good or your partner bowling good. If you don't match the strikes, you don't score. So it's really hard tournament to beat.
Yes, it's very interesting. It was like a 18 team round robin or something. It's insanity.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Yeah. So who are you bowling with this weekend?
Waterway Reelins Jr. Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that guy.
Really excited about it. My plans was to bowl with Ambledo, but he got some issues and trying to fly back home. So I contact Chris that I saw him in Plano a couple of weeks ago. Hey, I'm looking for a partner, and he started pitching me games like names. And what about John Burkett? Yeah, I don't know him, but you can try. He said he's gonna be busy, and then I tried to contact Norm and Walter by Facebook. And I think Walter had a partner, and then he dropped it, and he said yes. But yeah, it's gonna be quite a thing. I mean, one of my bucket lists, I have to say.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah, that's right.
With Amleto, and then you ask Norm Duke and Walter Ray. There you go. If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
First world problems right there.
He'd have got to you eventually, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't make his list. He's still mad.
No, he didn't realize you were 50 yet.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that was it.
Yeah, but definitely something that on my bucket list, bowl a tournament with Walter will be interesting experience, and I hope we're doing well.
Man, I wish. It's a shame that you haven't been there. Dick Allen has some great stories about bowling doubles with Walter Ray and some of the conversations they have. Hilarious.
I guess. Yeah.
Like, what do you think we should do on this pair? I think we should strike, Dick. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like Walter.
Man, you're making this way more complicated than it needs to be, Richard.
Yeah. Walter's not nearly as complicated as you think he might be for a guy who's a physics major and all that. He really simplifies it down.
Just don't miss any single pins.
Oh yeah, I'm working on that this week for sure. I'm thinking about that. It's not gonna be any fun. 10 pins with Walter there looking at you like.
Just be like, I don't get as much practice as those as you do.
Oh my God. It's gonna be funny. Let's see what happens. You bowling with Stuart?
No, I'm bowling with Pete Thomas.
Okay.
Chris is bowling with Dimitri.
Dimitri Cross.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If you can't beat the two-handers, join them.
Hey, I was wondering why Chris? Do you ever try the Booyah, but not the regular one, the international one? Yeah, Booyah Pro.
I actually do have one. I probably should have brought it. Historically, I've not used a lot of urethane in that place. If I'd have known that we were going to throw it for 3/4 of the games, I probably would have. Actually, my regular Booyah that I like is still on the PBA trucks. And so I brought that purple one for Shawnee, and then it ended up being the stew scam ball. So it's staying in the bag for a little while.
Yeah.
With the wrong thing.
I asked it because Giorgio have 2 of them, and he also not only 3 or 4 games, he also probably 7 or 8 games if he can. He always bring that ball, and it looks good.
Yeah,
no, it hooks a lot. It just has a much different shape than I'm looking for out of urethane most of the time.
I think it's much more close to the pitch purple.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, I feel like the thing I find amazing about watching Giorgio throw that ball is he doesn't really need to throw it very hard. I feel like for me to be able to use the pitch purple, I have to throw it hard, because if I throw it slow, it hooks too much.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it. It's just I just can't shape that ball, because if I do, it's too strong. Like, for me anyway, like I just find it more useful to be able to go like straighter and harder and able to get the pins out easier than I can with other urethane balls. So.
Yeah, same here. Same here with that ball. Definitely. I'd rather to use something stronger and go firm with my hand and try to reach all the friction without missing anything.
Did you use anything else except the physics then, or was it just the physics and the fast pitch?
There was a couple games that I would try to use my action pearl, but anyway, the physics just continued strike, so it wasn't my intention to get out of the way that ball that quick if I don't need it. Especially
you must be liking Lubbock as well, because isn't this the second tournament in a row you won in Lubbock? I seem to remember. I'm trying to blank it out, but I seem to remember you won the last tournament we bowled in Lubbock as well.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, for me, Lubbock has been like love or hate. Some of really good tournaments that I have been bowling there, and some of the really bad tournaments. I remember one of the tour stops. I don't remember, it was one of the extra frame that we bowled a dual partner. I remember one partner was okay. I mean, okay, saying that I couldn't barely hit the pocket, but the other one was something like, I got Kelly Kulik. That was Kelly Kulik rep last week. She was behind me. Okay, try to use this ball. Now move 2 left. Now move 4. Okay, change balls. Every single shot she told me something. I was like, what can I do? It was totally wrong for me that week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, the dual pattern events, they can put you in the spin cycle pretty quickly. Like, Jonesboro was like that for me. And in the past, I've done quite well in Jonesboro because I embrace the chaos. I like how difficult it is in Jonesboro. And I liked how difficult it was in Jonesboro this time. It was just that everybody else didn't find it as challenging. And when I say everybody else, I mean like everybody but 4 people didn't find it as challenging as me.
That's right. Yeah.
That was a rough week.
Arturo lead last time in Jonesboro, and he got one shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't be sure to hit the head pin every time. Oh, I've got a scam calling me. Go away. Leave me alone.
So Ildemaro, you have So tell us, like Venezuela's had some issues too. Obviously, there's lots of political things going on. We'll keep it short, but what's going on there compared to, uh, you know,
Well, long story short, we got two governments. One government is the Chavez followers. It's been in power for the last 20 years, and they got the military support. And we got another government saying or claim that this government is a dictatorship because they don't follow the rules, and a lot of stuff going on during these 20 years that they claim that they are the really democracy because they were the National Assembly, like the Congress. They fighting each other, but this guy doesn't have the military support, so that's pretty much it. They're trying to find international support, but like the only response to that is international invasion to take those guys out of power. So basically, it's a really hard condition right now. They're suffering so much. We got blackouts every day. There's no gas. Of course, we got sanctions. We have been sanctioned for a lot of international community countries, and we got blocked in commerce, so we don't have the chance to bring a lot of stuff to the country. So it's been really hard right now. I mean, I cannot say thank God for the pandemic, but the pandemic was one of the reasons that it kept me here in US. Because if I want to go there, I have to be in quarantine 15 days in a place that these guys just built. I don't trust these guys. I'm with my daughter. They were with me on tour by the moment when the pandemic happened. So, like, took my daughter there and put her 15 days in a place that I don't know, with people that I don't know if they're going to be sick or not. I never had the chance to, took my chances to do that. Even if I want to go to my house or, visit my family, being home or whatever, doing nothing, but I'm in my place. It was my country. Right. So right now I'm feeling like they stole my country because they don't allow me to go in. So it's really hard. It's just whatever you hear that was happening before, right now it's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. I've been good for a while.
Yeah, we've been there for a while. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And I was talking to Ambledo during the league, and he told me the same advice. Like, I think it's time to move into US, just keep it bowling here, stay with the field, understand the lanes better. Because one of the things that happened to me when I fly back home is I didn't get the chance to practice in a place that I can kind of manage whatever we bowl during the tour or international tournaments. We're still using, machines, and we all the lanes with hands. So it's just really hard to compare, that kind of reaction that we find on tour.
100%. Yeah, it's really difficult to develop skills in that situation. You can work on physical game and approach and stuff, but actually being able to develop tricks and things that enable you to get to the next level and compete.
Yeah,
is really difficult.
That was my main problem on tour the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years. It always got me one part of the transition that I lost 2 games, and that was different to make the cut or make the show or not.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest part about tours. The transition is so much different there than it is anywhere else, and it's tough to practice.
Yeah, definitely you cannot simulate that in any other place on the planet. Even you can practice in Kegel, you will not be able to simulate the transition that you had on tour because you don't have the reps in any other field.
Right.
But at least you're gonna know your arsenal, and you're gonna know well what ball you're gonna use after what. And that's something that, of course, changing the arsenal and changing balls every 6 months, because they keep pushing new balls and new balls and new balls. So at that moment, it was something that I was having some balls in my arsenal that I know, but some others that I really don't.
I think that we should. I think that Chris brushed on it, but I think that we should relive what happened in Bangkok, 2008.
Okay. He wanna say his side, and I'm gonna tell my side of the
I
story.
feel like what happened was Chris saw that the Venezuelan national team was going to be a little bit dangerous that week.
I don't think so.
And it was the first time that Chris played international, like after the break.
Yeah.
And he was on the dream team with Walter Ray, and they were a little scared.
He was showing how the pros doing the thing. Like, oh, there you go, get some pro.
Hey, Rook, this is how it's going to be if you want to come and play with the big boys. There's no sportsmanship here, bro.
Of course, it was, unfortunately. I mean, it was just bad luck.
Yeah, we had, 10-minute on a pair, and then everybody moves. And so we've been through a few of them. I was with Walter Ray, and of course, Walter Ray follows all the rules. So
as soon as the whistle blow, Walter was like in approach like this, like you need to move.
Yeah, he was moving over, and so I moved over with Walter. Walter beat him over there, and Ildemaro's on the pair. It's up on the high end. I remember the whole thing. It's and his lane had 180, and so it was taking a minute. It was recycling. He was still up, waiting to throw his last shot, and I'm there with the two balls that I'm kind of throwing, and Walter walks in front, and I'm going to walk in behind, and I just walked in behind, and Ildemaro's still standing there, and then he kind of does. While he's waiting, he swings it back. Well, he swung it back and right into one of the two balls I was holding, and smashed that finger between his ball and my ball. It's still. It was the sickest, grossest, and his hand blew up and split, and it was.
The sound was something like.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear it. As soon as you smashed the ball with the finger, you couldn't hear the. I was like.
It didn't crack. It squished.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to squish.
So, you guys don't know this, but on the first practice session when we were bowling, the guy from Northern Ireland stuck in his ball and knocked himself out with the ball. So he had to go to hospital too.
Yeah.
He put a gash in his head with no ball.
Yeah. I mean, this guy visit the hospital every day with me to take care of the injury that he got in his head. That was quite tournament. Like the most part with Chris, that what happened there. That of course was the first year that we had the pros bowling in an international tournament, and I got the lucky that I got Chris Barnes in the accident that just blow out my finger. So I was thinking in my head, of course this was 12 years ago. I was starting bowling in adult division. So I was thinking in my head, okay, so this guy probably going to send me a case of bowling balls, because I know it wasn't his fault, but he's Chris Barnes. He's like, dude, I'm going to try to make it easy. Just pick 4 bowling balls that I send back to your place, and you will be better. And I got nothing. I got 0. I got like, he saw me next day. Are you in pain? Of course I'm in pain. It hurts. I mean, it was brutal. I have to visit the hospital every day to clean the wound, and then they put more anesthesia, so I was able to bowl.
This is going better than I ever thought it could.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something.
Obviously,
Of course,
never met
of course
Chris
after
before.
that, he bought me a couple of beers, couple of years later, and we making pieces. But yeah,
All right. Well,
everyone in the
William
team,
Gannams.
start asking me, did he say something already? Did he gonna send you the new ball that they have? No, never back to me. No, nothing.
So William actually asked a question that we really should have covered a long time ago. I got way too all up in you averaging 250 something. We actually missed the big news of last week. How do you like the format for the PBA Players Tournament? I love the format of the prize fund. Let's go.
Yeah. Somebody asked where the money come from, and I am personally from the PBA, and I'm fine from wherever it came from.
Yeah.
So it is a lot for one tournament, but again, we don't know for sure how much we're going to get to bowl. So I am very pleased with having a big tournament up front. Normally, you'd like to have that at the end of the year, but in this circumstance, it's going to be an opportunity where a lot of people haven't bowled for much money in the last 6-8 months, and everybody's going to get a chance at a pretty good check, and hopefully we get to bowl the rest of the year. But if we don't, at least it's something. You get one swing.
Yeah, and I kind of dig the format. I think that there's a few things to be ironed out. But like with a lot of these things, you've got to start somewhere. And no matter what they picked, some people would think that it wasn't quite right or whatever. But this is cool. It's something different. It's definitely something you can market. Hopefully we find a way to fill all 5 regions, 96 players per region. And let's get after it. You two are both the enemy, directly the enemy. You're both in my zone. So, let's go.
But I mean, I thought they're gonna put me in South region because in the information that they send, they never put Venezuela or any other Latin country instead of Mexico in any of the divisions. So I was assuming that, I don't know, Venezuela always been close to Florida. I thought that I was able to bowl in the South. I don't know. I guess that for many people, like Mexico, is any other country south of the border. And between Mexico and Argentina, it's not the same place. But I'm already living in McKinney, so I choose this region. Garland is just like 30 minutes away from home.
Yeah.
From my new
I think
home.
most people, regardless of what's listed, it's kind of where they're bowling right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like the tournament, and I like the prize fund, of course. I will put probably 2 more days for qualifying. Don't put 2 squads of 7 games. If if we can bowl one pattern every day, we can bowl 4 days. I think it will be easier.
I think the issue with that is shutting the bowling sentences down for that long. For one, finding a way to be, because we're taking up the entire bowling center. So taking up 5 bowling centers for 4 days, or 5 days if you had a practice day,
Yeah,
it would be a little tough. So I think that's one of the issues. And then also with it being a regional based tournament, they want to be able to attack people to be able to come who wouldn't necessarily have the time to bowl the whole time. So I think that's part of it as well, because there isn't 500 full-time bowlers. So it's a lot harder to find 2 extra days. So
yeah, definitely. We never had a field in last 4 years. I think probably last time that we bowled in an US Open, really open, we had close to 500 bowlers. But other than that, I don't remember that big a field.
the Masters is pretty close to 500 every time. Like the
Yeah,
last
but
3 or 4 years.
the last tournaments that they made, they run in a places that is smaller than the field that they need to.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know why.
Well, when we bowled the Masters in Gold Coast, they must have had. I think they had 500 players because they added extra lanes.
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the biggest.
U.S. Open when it was at Carroll Air was 480.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, it's cool. William says, "Where's Belmore going?" Well, if you looked at the literature, William, you would see that Australia is in the West.
The West is very top heavy. We're going to have probably at least a segment on a future show talking about which region do you think is the hardest and easiest, and may have some rankings and what you think about that. But
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, Bill O'Neill's quite happy.
There you go. Some fair shots fired there. Free stuff from me. LOL. All right.
Oh my God! Of course. I mean, it was the dream team. I got my dream there. Gonna send me a couple bowling balls. It was funny. It was so funny.
Cliff says, "I like the format as well. Do other players you have chatted, you feel it's good?" I think that most people that I've chatted to are excited to get back on the lanes, and the main thing that most people I think get a little upset with is when we have a lot of cost but there's not a high upside. Yeah. This is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
The cost to entry, the entry fee itself is just the same, but our expenses are way lower. Right. And the prize fund is astronomically higher. And like, as an example to some of the guys at home who haven't necessarily seen all the details, it basically is twice the price of a regular regional. But if you make the TV show from the regional, it's $10,000, I believe, is the number.
Yes. Yeah, to finish fifth.
If you come fifth, you still get $4,000.
Right. And normally when you have a big regional like that, like Jacob comes in and bowls, or EJ or Marshall, it's just your region, and they're fairly, I mean, they're not going to be perfectly split up, but they're going to be fairly well split up. And it will never be a better swing at making a 5-figure check. I think you're a great point.
Yeah. So I think that the last check is going to be $1,500 from what I read. So this is, for anybody who's in the region, this is a great deal. Tournaments, being able to get 3 times your money for just cashing, that's an incredible deal.
And driving to the event.
Yeah.
So big piece, which means you can get your equipment there. There's no. Yeah.
And like I say, when the low side is, you cash and it's $1,500, and the high side is $250,000.
Yeah. And under the circumstances, it's certainly probably the best option we can do. Everybody does get to drive. Nobody has to fly. There's, you have a lot of limited exposure. You've limited some of the exposure risks without incurring a tremendous cost for, a 500-man field would be exorbitantly expensive to try and keep fit.
Yeah, and Tom and Coley have stepped up to the plate big time with this one.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a great scenario, and hopefully we can all get stabbed with some vaccines. Getting into the new year, and we can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit.
This is an interesting question. Did Ildemaro get a fine for his outburst at the PBA League?
Which one?
Well, I have been questioning a lot about it. I got a warning. I got a big warning. Like, no more. Next time, you're out of line. But it was funny. I mean, at that moment, I was feeling the emotion. I was, energy and everything. The team was really, really hard at that moment. And I was doing a change in my game. I was moving a couple boards. We were changing pairs, so I knew that lane was slick a little bit in the middle. So I knew that I have to throw that way, make it round to make the ball turns. And on the way back, I just convincing myself that I got it right, that I have to trust to whatever my mind was saying about it. And it just blew it out of my mouth. Like, I couldn't contain it. And they told me, show emotion. I was showing it.
Yeah.
And I guess that they don't understand that. And I remember saw the faces of the crew right after I said it, and everyone's like, and yeah, I was like, oh my God, my mic was on. All right. Okay. But yeah, during the break, they just give me a big warning, no more. And that was it. Thank God.
It does seem like with this crew that the mic is open pretty much all the time. They don't shut it off too much these days. But go ahead, Stu.
I can make you feel way better about this situation. So way back in the day, I was bowling with Chris. We made the show, PBA League, first time up. And I have the very first shot live show, right? And this is the pattern that we were feeling pretty confident on this one. This was the one I bowled really good on. Like Chris, it was the one that matched up good to us until we went into the old bowling center. And the ball hooked so early and it just backed off. So anyway, I throw the first shot and I book it or something like that. I throw it too fast. And as I let go of it, I go, shit. Like this, right? Live show. Very first frame, right? And I don't even think anything of that because that's just, nobody really cares. Like in England, that just isn't a big deal, whatever. So anyway, the show finishes up, no problem. And we lose. This is the important part. We lose to Amleto's team. Now, Amleto's team shoots 279. Amleto was the only one who missed. So we're not really listening, whatever. Me and Chris, we bowl like 160. Me, Chris, Dom. Super good guys for getting over the fact that we just lost by 100 on national TV, right? So Dave Schroeder comes up to me after the show and he goes, man, well, we're not going to fine you, but you can't say that. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that was an issue. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I got way more issues. One of these guys just said MF on TV. And it was Amleto. Oh, look out. And they were all laughing at Amleto because he was the only one who missed. And Amleto was asking Rhino not to strike on the last shot. So, come on, man, don't strike. And he threw the strike, and Amleto goes, you mother.
So that was right.
Just doing Spanish.
It's a Venezuelan finish.
He's a manager, man. He teach me how to do that.
Yeah.
So there you go. So don't feel too bad about it.
We all follow our heroes.
No. This was an insight. Right after that, I stand right next to Amleto, and he told me, like in Spanish, like, hey, compadre, just remember, if you're gonna cursing in Spanish, nobody gonna understand you. Oh, that's right, Amleto.
Mika used to say stuff all the time in Finnish, and literally no one understood it, except for Swedes. So
it would have been even better if Mika was convincing Randy that when he was swearing, he was actually screaming "carry" or something like that.
Oh yeah, he could say anything other than me on tour. I don't know anybody that would have known. The Swedes and Moscow are the only two that would have known what he was saying.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, compadre, just remember, you're gonna cursing in Spanish. Nobody gonna understand you.
All right, Chris. I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of good luck next week, but not a lot. Just saying. I'm sure I'll see you down there in Houston. And are you bowling Plano as well?
Yes. And then snowman doubles with Arturo too.
Okay.
All right.
Who are you bowling snowman with, Chris?
everybody's favorite teammate, Tom Doherty.
Good team.
We're an easy team to hate.
Don't need to worry about averaging 250 at that bitch.
No,
Not
so much. That's where they run them by hand, and you really don't know what you're going to see. But yeah.
All right, guys. I just want to say thank you to you for inviting me to the show and say hello to everyone in the comments. Just see the comments right now. I saw a lot of people say hi, and I know my man Sibo from Detroit 666. Yeah, that was a U.S. Open that we were bowling together in the same pair, and I just couldn't bowl more than 6 every shot. I got 6, and then I moved 6, and then I changed balls 6, and we were figuring out like, man, we are just the 666 team. What's going on?
I think we've all felt like that at the U.S. Open at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
but thank you, guys. It's
no
good.
problem. Congrats again.
Thanks, man.
PBA champion.
PBA
champion participant.
for you.
Sounds good. Sounds really good. I just starting to be awake of that, news, and it feels really good.
Yeah. Well,
It
take care of yourself. Hopefully, one of us two end your run of weekends of victories. Stop being greedy.
Yeah, share a little bit. You come in here, you steal all our money,
Hey, that's what we do. Ambrero just teach me that. Hey, you need to go.
Yeah. A couple of months. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Well, once again, appreciate you guys joining us, and I guess we'll come back Thursday. I will probably be in Houston, so I will try and we'll figure it out from there. And once again, it's some great stories from Ildemaro. Nice 2-week run, and but he's been bowling good for a while. So this has been sneaking up. This is for those who've been bowling with him every week. We've known this is coming at some point, and I actually didn't realize that he hadn't won a PBA tournament at all until now.
I didn't until I kept seeing him try and steal money in the non-champs events.
Yeah, that almost does. It's crazy because this guy's super talented, and so good to see him break through. Terrible break by AJ Chapman. It actually came down the 10th frame. Ildemaro did strike out in the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Threw some great shots to force AJ to strike 9 spare to beat him, and AJ left a kind of slam 7 thing to lose, and so both guys were punching. It was a heavyweight fight there. 2 guys averaging 250. Great finish, great champion. Somebody else breaking through. This region doesn't get any easier, that's for sure. So we'll come back at you Thursday. Like I say, maybe we'll come in with start talking about the regions a little bit. Never know. And but until then, again, support small businesses, support those bowling centers, help them get through this time. And happy holidays to everybody. And you can see our sponsors there on the bottom. Please, if you support them, they support us. Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, 3G, Dexter, Master, Vice Grip, Turbo, and Bowler's Marked. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
Take care.